defense, and that's not going to change. It's the same as always going to be. We got to defend and then get some easy shots off our offense, because I think we'll be able to score. We got some individual scores, but we got to be able to stop people and defend people night in and night out.
That was Coach Casey talking about the identity of the Raptors and the importance of defense. We continue on with our 4 Down segment as we break down the Toronto Raptors 4 different ways. We welcome back this man right here from the Hoops Lounge, Marc Griffin. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To my left is Pierre Evans-Just, our basketball insider. Great to have you back. Some great points you've been bringing up. Looking forward to continuing on. As well as this man right here, David Hurley, the opinionated David Hurley. Welcome back.
Great to have you back.
All right, so we're talking about the Raptors, and we heard Casey talk about, Coach Casey talk a little bit about the identity and the need for defense. There's going to have to be some impact players on this team who are going to have to step up if they want to make it far in the Eastern Conference, especially in the playoffs, right? Absolutely. So let's start with you, Pierre. Who's your biggest impact player that needs to step up this year, or you think could have a breakout year?
I'm looking at Valanciunas, and it's not a surprise with the skill set that he has.
Even more than Ross.
Even more than Ross. Even more than Ross, because 7-foot-tall centers, 22 years old, they don't grow on trees in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. And if you take a look at what his competition is, only Brook Lopez and Roy Hibbert in the Eastern Conference. So he has to step to that next level. And for me, he can do it. He can do it. It's just a matter of him working on his game, being offensively accountable, defensively accountable as well. But he can get to that level.
The GMs actually stepped up and said that they voted Valanciunas as being one of the guys who was going to have the most likely to break out this year with their annual surveys in the league, and they put him as number 1. So he's definitely a big piece. You agree with that?
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers messed up when they took Tristan Thompson ahead of him. They really missed the boat on that one.
That's a scary thought, by the way.
It really is.
Scary GM in place now.
It is, but the thing is with Valanciunas is he's put on a little bit of size, and his size is really going to enable him down low to post up against guys, and really with that wingspan, instead of getting pushed in front, he's going to be pushing back. So it's really going to be good on his defensive, and that's where he's going to average. He went from 6 rebounds to 8 rebounds. I expect him this year to average around 11 rebounds a game.
I'm surprised you guys say Valanciunas, though, when you talk about impact player. We know that, obviously we know he's an integral part of the Raptors, but Terrence Ross, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this guy's back right now. He's got to step up. He was non-existent in the playoffs. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that Terrence Ross needs to make a bigger impact? Or is there somebody in your books that does or can make a bigger impact than those two?
I think Terrence is actually trade bait, to be honest, coming off the bench.
Think so?
Yeah, the 4 spot, I mean, I love Amir Johnson. He does so many little things well, but that's one position they need to shore up. I love Patrick Patterson off the bench, giving energy and kind of the front man role, but I think we may have CT Ross going and getting a 4.
On the market. But who you're looking at on the market that you could trade him for?
Well, it's funny because
he's really young. He has all the athleticism in the world. So I'm wondering who if you were in Masai Ujiri's shoes right now, who would you think that you would trade him for?
Well, the irony is, and this is from my friend Dwight Walton, Chris Bosh would have been great as a stretch 4. Now
Chris Bosh?
It's not going to happen.
Back to Toronto.
That's wishful thinking. But
wishful thinking. Oh my God, who's out there right now? There's not much out there to see. Stretch 4s are hard to find in this league, and Channing Frye, something like that would fit the role well if you could get someone like that. But I trust Masai Ujiri. He's one of the smartest men in basketball. He'll figure something out.
Well, speaking of Masai Ujiri, you talk about what they've done with We the North campaign. You talk about Jurassic Park, as they call it, outside the ACC. It's remarkable to see what he's been able to do with this team and been able to build from the coach down. What do you foresee from him moving forward? What do you think that he's capable of doing? Have we seen the most that we can get from Ujiri? Have we seen the biggest changes moving forward? Is this the nucleus and this is what he's going to roll with? I mean, he's brought them all back, right? So clearly he has confidence in them. How confident are you with regards to his moves?
For me, I mean, having read so much about him over the last few years, even when he was back in Denver. He was in Toronto before he was in Denver, by the way. This is the tip of the iceberg. I think he's one of the most intelligent men in all of basketball. It's interesting to see how charismatic he is as a person. I see photos. I've seen people coming up to him to take photos, and you don't think of general managers that way. Yeah. He's just a personable, honest man, passionate about basketball. Grew up like Dikembe Mutombo with nothing in Africa, coming over, working for free for the longest time. He loves this organization. Kyle Ravelry said to my face basically that he stayed because in this organization, everyone at the top and everyone at the bottom are treated as equals, and that's the tone that Ujiri sets. It's a family atmosphere, and he's going to stay and grow.
But do you think with all that's all fine? But do you think that in terms of the tinkering, if we take a look at the roster right now, do you think there's any tinkering that he needs to do to get to the next level,
There's
or
plenty of
the team that we
tinkering.
have.
There's plenty of
the
tinkering
team
that team needs to do, but
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to go through Chicago and Cleveland. Of
course.
Yeah.
The team's not going to give up all those potential money, the revenue that they can make by making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up on a one-chance opportunity to beat a Cleveland. I think what they're going to keep doing is keep riding the ship, being steady, being a perennial playoff team. Once they're a perennial playoff team, built kind of like San Antonio. San Antonio built slowly. Of course, they've had some great teams along the years, but their heart and soul of their team is Parker. You know, you're looking at guys like that, and that's exactly what they're doing
But the
with
onus
Kyle
is on-
Lowry and
The
DeRozan.
onus is on Dwayne Casey as well.
Yeah, he's got a
The
huge
onus-
responsibility, but he looks
Yeah.
like a no-nonsense
That's
guy,
a new
right?
contract. He has a new contract now. So for him, it's the onus of making them believe, not only
Yeah.
for themselves, but him believe in himself that they can get to the next level. And I'm wondering, you brought up the point in terms of Terrence Ross being a trade bait. I'm thinking that they should definitely get a third scoring option, somebody
Absolutely.
other than Kyle, other than DeRozan, because Valanciunas, defensively speaking, that's where I think his
But
responsibility
Grievous
should
has
be
also
more.
stepped up quite a bit too.
Vasquez
Yeah.
has been
He's a
Vasquez
playmaker
has
though,
been-
but
he
scoring
has
wise,
been-
somebody that you know for a fact,
Yeah.
like he brings instant offense, and Lou Williams could be one of those pieces.
And watch
coming off the
out,
bench.
it's going to be long term, but Bruno is a project. He's going to get there. He's got some
7'6"
special talent.
wingspan.
The wingspan he has on
Yeah.
him. He's a project. He's very raw, but he's got a lot to look forward to in the future. I mean, 2 years away from being 2 years away, it's not that far. I think he'll be playing next season.
That was a quote, but it looks like they made a steal.
What are one of the biggest obstacles that Ujiri has to face with this team if it doesn't go well quick? Every other team in the Eastern Conference seems like they've reinvented themselves. Start with you first. Is there any obstacles that you see on a short-term or even on a long-term basis that he needs to address?
Well, I mean, it's the mentality of Canada being a basketball country is something that and with Steve Nash retiring this week, there's been so much going on, but essentially retiring with the injury. It's the sense of the identity of Canada becoming a basketball country. That's something he has to work towards growing. So the Raptors have not, it's their 20th anniversary, have not really been on the radar outside of Vince Carter's slam dunks and the dunk contest for a long, long time in 2001 when they nearly beat the Sixers in the second round. They haven't been there since then, really. So it's the building up within the NBA empire as Toronto as a place to be. That's his biggest obstacle as being a GM here. Yeah.
Right before we let you go, I know you've been working quite a bit on the Hoops Lounge. Congratulations, by the way, on all your
Thank
success.
you.
You guys just launched a brand new website, so maybe tell our viewers where we can catch you and catch some of the stuff that you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's hoopslounge.com. We just launched the beta version of our new site. We have a weekly show every Sunday, like you guys. Great basketball conversations, NBA, college, international basketball. It's myself, Phil Boileau, Moda Elb, and a series of writers, photographers, a bit of everything, articles, podcasts, contests, hoopslounge.com, everything basketball, and we put the Montreal and Canadian spin on it
And
too.
it's good to have people like that in Montreal.
Yeah, and
Well, we
there's
look forward to having you back and obviously Phil as well. We
Congratulations.
extend an invitation out to him, so congratulations on all the success. Stay with us after the break. I face off against boxing legend Otis Grant.